We're here at Wondercon. We had to rush and get to the arena.
Sweating, man.
But we've made it. They're doing Legend of the White Dragon presentation, live celebration of Jason David Frank over here at the arena section of Wondercon. We're gonna do Wondercon itself as well, but we're gonna start off with this. This is the reason I'm here, obviously.
I'm sure there are some Power Ranger fans out there.
Yeah.
Specifically, I'm sure there are some fans of Jason David Frank.
Yeah.
We thought that this was something that would be a great thing to have for the fans and also for the people with Bat and the Sun to come out and talk to you all about. So I know that you guys are anxious to get to it. So with that, it is my pleasure to bring out Aaron Chonky, Sean Chonky, and Chris J with Bat and the Sun.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. What's up, Sean?
It's real exciting for us to be debuting this film later this year. And,
Well, hello everyone. How are you guys doing out there?
Awesome.
All right. Glad you could all be here. We were very. Who's excited for Legend of the White Dragon?
Let's go.
All right. I'm gonna live stream this for all the people that couldn't make it. Don't want to do all the things. You talk now.
well, today's going to be a celebration of Jason David Frank. You know, we all loved him, and you know, it's been tough. You know, to be honest. You know, in the last few months, and you know, we've had to be in the editing room constantly. You know, be doing footage of him. You know, and we wish he could be here, but we don't want this to be a downer day because if Jason was here, he'd want us all to be up and excited, as he always was. He had so much energy all the time, such passion for life. You know, he was either skydiving or doing martial arts or, you know, riding his motorcycle or, you know, doing karate. He was on the go all the time, and you just couldn't help but to pick up his energy and just run with him. So,
Yeah, we got to know Jason very close. Jason was one of our best friends for 10 years. Since I met Jason, I talked with him probably 3 times a week, and we're just about either one of the projects we're working on. We worked on, I think, about 10 to 12 projects together, and or just silly things. He'd always he's very funny, and he had a lot of personality. I tell the story just to show how nice Jason was. Like I said, my dad was saying, this panel, we're going to show a clip from Legend of the White Dragon, an extended clip from the clip that just premiered on TMZ, and then we're going to show like behind the scenes of just some fun stuff over the last 10 years, just some clips that I think you guys have really enjoyed, just seeing how funny and how sweet Jason was. And if I break down a little bit on this panel, real men cry, so it's fine. I love him, but I always tell the story about how I first met Jason to show you what kind of a great person he was. Basically, we were doing Super Power Beatdown, and we're like, let's do the White Ranger. I grew up being a Power Ranger fan, and I was like, I'm gonna reach out to Jason, see if he wants to be in it. And reached out. He's like, I love your stuff, it's so great. Let's shoot. I was like, great, let's shoot. When are you free? He's like, well, I live in Houston. I was like, well, I live in LA. That's a little bit of a commute. He's like, well, why don't you fly down here and we can shoot these scenes. And I was like,
I remember his first phone call with Jason. He was like, Dad, it's Jason.
it's cool. I mean, I grew up with him. It's cool. You know, it was like 10, 11 years ago now. Yeah. And so I was like, I'll fly down there, no problem. And then when I was like, well, where should I stay? You know, should I get a car? And he's like, no. He said, you're just gonna stay with me. I'll pick you up at the airport, no big deal. So I was like, oh, okay. So my first time meeting Jason was at the airport, which is kind of a trip. He didn't show up in the Dragon Sword. I was a little disappointed, but he showed up in the truck. But him and Jenna picked me up, and you know, we just went grocery shopping and bought Cantaloupe together, and then we just hung out for 2-3 days. We shot part of the ending of White Ranger with Scorpion there, and we ended up talking. We had like such a synergy, a connection right away that we ended up talking. We want to do possibly an original project or develop like a solo Green Ranger series. And it was that early talk that eventually transitioned into Legend of the White Dragon. So really this film has been in the works for almost 10 years. But that story is to show how warm and inviting he was. And I watched him with all the fans, and that's who he really was. And I think that's important that people know that about him.
Yeah, his lines would be longer than he had time for, but he would cancel his plane flight, and he'd say, well, I'm going to make time for them. And so he would run down the line, high five everybody, just to keep everybody's energy up. It was always about being up, up, up all the time. And so wherever he went, he truly loved all of you guys.
Yeah, that wasn't a facade or
He
anything.
tried to give all of you as much of his attention and time as possible. So we're just honored to be in this position now to present his final film.
Yes, and luckily after we raised we launched a Kickstarter for the project, and then Chris here came on as an executive producer who is also a fan, and Chris has his own experience with Jason.
Like Aaron, greetings from London, everybody. I was a huge Green Ranger fan. I was a huge White Ranger fan, and when I had these initial conversations with Aaron, because when I saw the original Kickstarter for Legend of the White Dragon, the first one was unsuccessful. So I was like, oh my God, Aaron, we can't not do this. It's Jason, it's him doing cool stuff. That's what everybody wants to see. And as part of this process, I got a phone call from Jason, where he interviewed me to see whether I was the right fit for him. And you've got to love him for it, because he was a big believer in positive energy. If you don't have the right energy, he was not interested in it, in engaging with that. And he asked me, why do you want to do this? Why do you want to put your money into it? I said, because I believe in you, not just as the Green Ranger, but as a phenomenal martial artist, and as a man who, in my view, never really got a fair shake, an opportunity to show the kind of really cool stuff that he was capable of doing. I guess I passed the interview because we made a movie.
Yes, and they say the rest
That's
is
the
history.
audition.
I did pass the audition, but despite being a fan and also being the executive producer on the movie, he never forgot, first and foremost, that I was a fan. So as the executive producer, what you're normally doing is sitting behind the monitors, watching things going on, watching people potentially burn your money with a flamethrower. Which is kind of what you hope they're not doing. Yes, Aaron, that's you.
That's good, right?
But I was sitting back there, and several times Jason McCarthy said, Chris, why are you sat here? I said, well, this is the executive producer's place, I'm watching the monitors. Yeah, that's right, but there's cool stuff going on over here. And all of a sudden, my wheelchair would be moving, and he'd be taking me over. I remember when we were honored to have David Ramsey on set, who is an absolute legend. Such a nice guy as well. He said, why aren't you over talking to David Ramsey? I said, well, he's working, he's acting. Oh, screw that, we're moving. And suddenly, he'd be moving me over to talk to all of these amazing people, and especially when we had Ciara Hanna on set. No, I'm a big fan of Ciara, she's a lovely lady. It's like, Chris, have you had a photo with Ciara yet? It's like, no, well, she's kind of busy, we're doing that photo right now. So he never forgot that I was a fan, and I always felt loved and respected on that set by him, and to earn Jason's respect, I cannot think of a higher accolade for me as an individual than to be respected and loved by Jason, and it's something I'm incredibly grateful for.
With Legend of the White Dragon, what was so important to Jason is obviously he had been a Power Ranger for such a long time, and he had tried to get a lot of stuff going with Saban, original Green Ranger projects, Enemy Pitch projects, and it just never worked out. And he wanted to show the world that he was more than just a Power Ranger. Having said that, he loved Power Rangers more than anything. He always wanted to be so respectful of the brand, but he also knew that everyone that watched him in the 90s had grown up, and he's like, I want to make more mature content. You know, you watch The Boys, or you watch these different shows, and he's like, I want to do that. Let's bring it there. He goes, I'm out and meeting everyone. And he would tell Hasbro and he told Saban, he's like, I'm out there. This is what they want. And they kept Power Rangers as a kids brand, which is nothing wrong with that. But he wanted to give something for all of you guys, because you guys would come up and you talk about it. He would make notes, and then when we had these conversations, he'd be like, the fans want this, they want this. And he goes, I want to show people that I'm a really good actor. I'm not just a Power Ranger actor. And it was so important. This film is very, it's very heavy, it's very mature. It deals with loss, it deals with murder, it deals with addiction, it deals with suicide. It deals with a lot of really heavy things. And Jason put so much of himself into this film, because what you want as a director is that you want your actor to be super committed. You wouldn't just come in and wing it and just be like, whatever, I know the lines. He would come in with his script and there'd be writing all over it. He's like, I have questions for every line. I want to change these. I would say it more like this. He was very, very
hands-on.
He was super hands-on. He's like, I want to live my truth in this film. And for anyone that really knows Jason, this film is kind of almost like an autobiography of his life. And I don't know if you guys watch his poetry online, but he was very, very honest. He was very truthful, and I think that's why he resonated with so many people, because he put his vulnerability out there and he let his ego go. And I think that's why everyone here resonated with him. I think that's why we resonate with him so much. So the film is so important to him, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people or blow people away. They're like, "Oh, that movie was really heavy." It was, there's a lot of scenes that are sad, depressing, but that's what Jason wanted to put out there, and that obviously is, indicative of who Jason was. But he was always a fighter, and he always wanted to push through, and he always wanted to be that inspiration for everyone else. So that's so much of what we put into this film, and make sure that this film honors his vision and his legacy of who he is.
Yeah, it's like indirectly kind of a docudrama of what was going on in his head.
A lot, yeah.
He had a lot of challenges that he was trying to deal with, like you were just saying, and he just wanted to, find a way to express it through his poetry and through the films that we made. Mm-hmm. So you see a lot of Jason's real personality in this film of who he really was, and for that we just wanted to honor him and just say, present to all of you like, this is Jason.
Yes, and we've been able to get it as a theatrical release, which is going to be released on September 4th, which would have been his 50th birthday. So, I hope you were all there to celebrate the man. Can we pull up the 2 posters that we have for the movie? Let's come out there. It's right here. So these posters were actually designed by our friend Brian Morton, who actually did the Force Awakens poster and the Endgame poster, who also knew Jason. That's the wonderful aspect of this project, is that when you connect with people on such an intimate, real level, they want to be a part of it. And I remember when we approached our promotional guy who handles and deals with the stuff, he's like, I'll get a poster guy, I know a good one. I was like, well, I know the guy who does all the Star Wars posters. And he's like, well, he's not going to work on this. And I was like, hey, he's a friend of me and Jason's. And instantly he's like, I'll do it, no problem. I'll get it done for you. And that's like the wonderful energy and synergy that we have here at Madsen and we have with Jason, and we hope that comes through on the film. Now we're going to show, we have, like I said, 2 clips. We're going to show one clip, 2-minute clip of Jason and Mark, and then we'll come back and talk about that for a little bit. Then we'll show, just like I said, behind the scenes, and then we'll open up to a Q&A. And I had some things I can sign for some people that ask questions. But is there anything else that you guys want to say before we...
No, they're not interested in listening to us, Aaron. They want to see the cool stuff.
What do you guys think? That was pretty cool, right? I have to say that watching Jason and Mark fight was really something special. They really both are phenomenal martial artists, and you get a lot of actors who that know how to stunt fight and look good. But and then there's actually people that are like, oh man, don't mess with that person. That person will legit mess you up. And what's cool for people who study fighting and know it, they have such a different fighting style. And it's wonderful because, Jason knows so many different fighting styles, and he's a wrecking ball. It's just destruction, which is kind of what you want to be when you're a fighter. But Mark is fluid, he's water. It's just this wonderful, pacifist way of fighting. And it was really cool watching. That fight was choreographed. They picked it up so fast. like watching them get that, it was just like, some of these fights take 2 weeks to choreograph, they picked it up so quickly. But it really was a joy. I know that working with Mark and Jason, Jason knew Mark, and it's kind of funny, this goes again to show how nice Jason was. Basically, Mark's son, a huge Power Ranger fan, and I guess stood in line to meet Jason at one of the conventions, and Jason didn't know that was Mark's son, and you know, he signed extra stuff. You guys know, Jason would always sign extra stuff, give extra stuff away, just super, super giving. And then years later, at a convention, Mark and Jason were together, and Mark came up to him, and Jason's like, oh, I really love your stuff, Brotherhood of the Wolf, and all this sort of stuff, John Wick. And he's like, I don't know if you know this, but like 5 or 6 years ago, you were really nice to my son, and gave him all this stuff, and he's like, that always stuck with me. So he's like, if you ever need anything, you know, like, just call. And then when this came about, Jason was like, we should get Mark. And I was like, all right. And he's like, well, you call him though. And I was like, why me? But Mark's super nice.
Super sweet.
Super sweet guy, and came down and filmed on Legend of the White Dragon, which is super cool. But we have a great cast though. We have Michael Madsen in the film, obviously from Kill Bill and from Reservoir Dogs, a ton of stuff. It's interesting. We did our Batman film, Dying is Easy, with Michael Madsen, and I for some reason just didn't like tell Jason that we were working with Michael. It kind of just slipped through the cracks. And Jason saw it, and he calls me right away. And he's like, you got Michael Madsen? I was like, yeah. I was a mutual friend, I was a friend. He's like, he's my favorite actor. He goes, I love him in Donnie Brasco, Reservoir Dogs. He has to be in Legend of the White Dragon. I was like, all right. He's like, I want to act with him. And there's a great scene in the movie where basically Michael Madsen plays Jason's father, and they're meeting in jail. And it's a really, really powerful, poignant scene. It's probably my favorite scene in the film. There's no action, no special effects, just great acting at Jason. And he loved it. Jason was so excited, and Michael sent him this one.
It was a surreal moment when you called Michael, because we were at In-N-Out Burger late one night.
Yeah,
And Aaron says, well, I have his number.
I'm calling. He's like, yeah, call him. And then I was like, okay. And then, you know, Michael, hey, Aaron, what's up? How you doing? I was like, I got Jason David Frank. You know who that is? He's like, maybe. And I was like, you know, I told you, Jason Frank, oh, yeah, and I love that guy. We did a panel together at the green, the white thing. And I was like, yeah, that's serious.
You know, that's probably one of my most favorite days on set, because Jason was like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, Jason was nervous.
He was nervous, but he was at the same time he was also nervous, excited.
Yeah.
And it was so fun, and it was one of the things I was delighted to do for him, because it wasn't in the original script.
Correct. So we felt that we needed to just beef out some parts and wanted to add. It kind of serendipitously just fell upon us. We're like, we need the scene. Let's write the scene. But Jason was really nervous, but like you said, in the most wonderful way, because Jason is this great fighter and very confident on that. And he knows he's a really great actor, but he wants to prove it. So here's the opportunity. And he ran at it, you know, head first, and he was excited, but I could tell that he was a little like, he's like, this is my favorite actor. This guy's been in like all these big movies. The scene is a really intense scene. And I was like, well, you wanted this, so here we go. And what's interesting is they did the take only 3 times. We rolled, a lot of times you'll roll coverage on one side of the room and then the other side of the room, which is called flipping the world. But I was like, we need to roll cameras on both of them at the same time, because they're going to give this really moving performance. Because the subject deals with fathers and sons, and both of them in their own lives have had interesting relationships in the same way. And I knew it was going to, they were, I could see in the green room they were getting amped up, and I was like, we need to just roll on both of them, because this is going to be really intense. And each take they did, and by the 3rd take, they couldn't even get through the take. At the end, they were both bawling, teary-eyed, holding back the tears, and it was really moving. And then basically, Michael Madsen got up and he was like, we're done. He goes, I can't give any more, that's it, I'm spent, I'm done. And Jason was also...
He emotionally had just been drained.
Yeah, and they hugged it out, and Jason was really happy with this day, and he basically, a couple days later, I guess Michael voice messaged him, and Jason played this for me, and basically Michael was saying, I work with a lot of actors, and a lot of big celebrities he's swearing a lot, he's a big swearer. He's like, they're garbage, blah, 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 they just phone it in. And he's like, but you were the real deal. He goes, I haven't felt that connected in a scene since like Quentin Tarantino, you know? And Jason was like, I could just see, you know,
He didn't shut up for weeks.
he was really happy, which was great to see him very happy. So, and I know when the movie premieres, I think everyone's going to be blown away by how good his acting is, and it's like the only thing he ever really wanted to hear. So I hope everyone really gets to experience it, and you get to experience it in theaters, which is really, really exciting. What I want to do though is I want to play like some behind the scenes, because now it's gotten very heavy. I'm wearing these because my eyes are all teary-eyed, but I want to play some behind the scenes of what we've had the last 10 years. I'll preface it and explain some of these. I originally was going to actually play and pause, explain them, but I kind of explain it real quick. Some of these are just Jason on set wrapping up the day, him just having fun. Some of them are him just hanging out with us in our living room, being really silly. There's one shot where Jason used to play this character called Zaps, which is this, he basically plays this excited 5-year-old, and he would always call me in the weirdest places and just be all excited, but it's to show you how sweet and wonderful he was. And then there's one clip, which I will explain before you see it, because Jason was Bloodshot on Valiant. We directed Valiant, a short film, or a short series. And there's a take with a stunt performer, Dirk, and basically on the way that the angle looks is that you kind of have to really get really close. And Jason was always great. He never hit anyone. He was like a great stuntman. But Dirk, I think, Dirk, he was a little worried. And basically what happened was Dirk wasn't reacting right. So I just kind of like leaned over to Jason and I said, just give him a little. Just give him a little. That didn't go over well. And you'll watch the take and you'll see what I'm saying. And you'll kind of see Jason at the very end of that smirk a little bit. You watch the clips, you watch all these clips here, they're really fun. It just gives you an insight of who Jason really, really was. So let's roll these behind the scenes and get some smiles going on.
Hey guys, just want to let you know, first of all, I'm honored to work with all of you guys. Seriously, you guys, let's do it one time. Let me teach you. Alright, we're gonna go. Teach you, let's go. How do you do it? Alright, ready?
You should be in front of us.
Alright, let's just kneel down and get the shot.
Can you see what?
Yeah, I can see.
Right, come over here. Can you see me over
Yeah.
here?
Yeah.
Ready? Yeah. And right, I see it.
Yeah.
优秀龙互救。好。
Right hand over left. Right hand over left.
Right hand over
That takes it to the next. Today is a wrap. Thank you, Mark. Thank you for everyone. But we will be back tomorrow. Thank you, crew. Thank you for everyone.
Good job, everyone. Looks great.
Everybody just step right outside real quick, please. Right down these stairs.
Are there 2 dragons, Jason?
Like Mace Windu's lightsaber, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's perfect.
I'm filming you now.
So you want to give me a hug, kiss?
Nicole warned me about this. She warned me about this.
You warned, but you know you want to do it. I saw it in your eyes.
Let it happen, Chris. Let it happen. Let it happen.
Let me at least take the fan off first.
Let it happen.
Protein, milk, bananas, 2 whole eggs with the shells, and shots of Jack Daniels. And it's all good. It's all fresh. Congratulations.
Don't spill it on. You gotta shoot one. Drink it. You gotta drink it. Yeah, you gotta drink it. There you go. Do it.
Just one sip. You can just one sip.
You are testing me, people. You are testing me.
Are you not doing it?
You have scenes left?
Yeah, your team's up.
Just tap out.
You were given that.
step out.
I'm gonna go over here. You were getting that like a football goal.
I mean, maybe Coke.
Hey, go, come on, go.
Protein.
It's protein, banana, eggs, milk. No, it's in the fridge.
Just said that was a terrible idea. It's not too bad, actually.
It's not bad.
Oh my god, man.
Oh, we take it to the dome.
Not too bad, right?
That's not too bad.
It's the riskiest, man.
Don't show Eric. COVID guy.
That's it. Let's take it. Let's take it home. Now, you make me look good. That's how it feels. Cut! Oh, you look great, Jason. People are looking like. Don't leave it.
You have a plastic thing on that. I was younger, I was weird.
Here we go. And 3, 2, 1, action. You okay? You okay? You okay? You alright? Are you alright?
I missed it. Okay, everybody, we did an awesome job getting some pickup shots on Legend of the White Dragon, and that is a wrap! That'll be awesome.
All right, there you go. Those are. And that last video was the last day he was on set, so I included that as him wrapping everyone out. So on the film, at the very end in the credits, we'll have a nice thing put together where we put together probably a whole bunch of clips where we say thank you to the Kickstarter contributors, and we show a bunch of wonderful behind the scenes. There's a lot of behind the scenes that we have that we can't show because it kind of gives away spoilers of the film, but he was always super clowning around. And I think it makes his performance even that much better because it's so serious. And then like immediately when you'll cut, he'd be all serious and silly and doing all these things again. And that's like who he was. So that's wonderful.
And I'm so glad you included me being molested by cake. I feel I should explain this just a little bit. because it's actually quite important and again shows what an amazing man he was. That was my, going back 2 years, that would have been my 35th birthday. And it was my first birthday without my dad, who passed away the year before. So I was feeling a little bit fragile. And Jason and the team had gone to a huge amount of effort, produced this ridiculously big cake, and a wonderfully signed card. A cake which Jason destroyed by shoving his face right through it, I might add. But it just shows the level of love and affection that he had for everyone, and he turned what I think would have been a very brutal day otherwise into one that was pretty funny, at least for anybody who was watching. But no, it was a very special day thanks to him.
Yeah, he was very attentive. He always made sure to make sure everyone felt special. And people that are on set here, and we have Alex who co-wrote the film, we have Garrett who's one of the grips on there. I always find it amazing that they come up to me and they're like, I was talking to Jason, and I was like, oh, that's so cool, because a lot of times on sets, the main actor doesn't want to talk to or anything, and Jason would go above and beyond. He's like, let me get your number and let me talk. You know, he was always like super friendly. I was always amazed. People would tell me like, I was talking to Jason. I was like, really? I was like, that's pretty cool.
He was very approachable.
Very approachable.
Or he'd approach you.
Yeah. Or kiss you with cake on his face.
I hate you, Aaron.
Anyways,
Well, one of my favorite clips was at the piano with him. You know, Jason wanted
nice.
to sit down and play something, and I played with a lot of musicians throughout my life, and that's one of my favorite memories, sitting down with him. It ranks right at the top to have him sit right next to me and just kind of improvise and ham it up. So I was really teared up when I see that.
that one hits me the most, for sure. Tony, where are you, Tony? Tony, did you want to try calling? You want to try doing that? Can you get up here? Is there a way to get up here? Tony, how do we get Tony up here? We're gonna bring Tony up here. Tony supersedes me. He is Jason's best friend, and he wants to see if he can call Jenna here and see if we can get her to just say hi real quick. Who wants? See if we can call Jenna, Jason's daughter. See if we can get up here. Tony, where are you going?
He's walking around.
He's going all the way around. There you go.
He's a rule follower.
There you go. He's fine. He's good. He knows what he's doing. See if she answers. Are you good service at her? Uh-oh. All right.
I'll even I managed to walk up.
And then after this, we're going to open up to a Q&A. And then I have some sign prints for people that want to ask stuff. All righty.
Let's see if she answers.
Let's see if she answers. This man has more stories than I knew with Jason, that's for sure.
No, so Jenna's doing a little con right now as well in I think Lexington, and she told me to call her. But let me see if she picks up.
You all know who Jenna is, right? Jenna's in the film. It's actually it's very emotional because there's a lot of scenes with her and Jason together in the film. Starts off with, you know, Jason playing Eric Reed supposedly being gone, dead, and it's about her missing him. And I can't tell you how hard it is to watch it. Chris just watched it. Chris went from London two days ago and was able to watch some of the stuff. And I think it kind of messed Chris up a little bit in terms of how heavy it was.
And Jenna came by about a month ago, and we had to sit down with her beforehand and just make sure she was ready to watch it.
Yeah,
But she was
pretty intense. Any luck, Tony?
Still trying.
All right, well
Tony's being ghosted.
let's open up to Q&A, and then
Sorry guys, I'm trying.
that's right. She's probably busy in signing. Yeah, she's got her own stuff. But is there a Q&A line? Okay, cool. All right, we got Scarlet Spider there. I like the outfit.
Question is, since Jason told me a few years ago that waking up with a ready mindset is the key to consistently being passionate for your projects, how do you believe Jason's energy and drive will carry you and keep you motivated and passionate for your future projects?
That's a good question. So me and Jason connected on a deep level because we're the same way. I wake up instantly. My girlfriend's always like, how do you wake up like instantly ready to go and wanting to check email and edit and sort of stuff? And if you build your life with things that you're passionate about and that you love, you will wake up excited. I always say I never get any sleep, but it's because I just wake up so excited, ready to play. You know, it's like a kid who wakes up and has like a toy and I want to play. You know, so it's like you use that energy, and you're not faking the energy. You just go through it. And I think that's why me and Jason connected so much. Him and me were always battling for who had the most energy on set after 18 hours, and I'd be like, man, he's still going. And I lived that.
Yeah, he wore his passion on his sleeve.
Yeah.
And it's that authenticity that was in him that you try to feed off of and realize. So therefore, you can just take that with you as you go forward in life. It's just always be real. And whether it was, you know, a happy emotion or a sad emotion, his feelings were always right there. You always knew where he was at. Maybe sometimes he was upset with the script or something, and you know, but it's that energy, that passion that you like to kind of nick from him, kind of pull and save that. So that's what I'm going to take away from him.
Yeah, and he made sure he said, Aaron, make sure I want to be in every one of your projects going forward. So we have a few of our next projects lined up, and we hide little JDF gems in every one of those projects. So
I got somebody on the phone real quick.
oh, do you? Who do you got? Is it FaceTime? Thank you for that question.
Thank you.
I don't know if you can broadcast this or not, but
Jenna, can you see everyone?
I don't know if you can just zoom it. There you go. If you zoom it in, there you go. Go ahead, Mama. You're on.
What's up? Damn.
Hey, look. Super fast service, guys. I'm in Lexington Comic-Con, but I love you so much.
So if anything, I told him that I would get you on the phone. I tried a couple times, but I know that the service is bad. But let everyone know how you feel about the movie, the clip, what we watched in the background. Let everyone know how you feel about basically how the movie's gonna be.
Well, let's just say that I play his daughter, so it hit really close to home. Ashley Reed and Eric and Rebecca all have a very special relationship, and I think that being on set just really helped me out a lot and had me very appreciative. And I'm super excited for you guys to see it. It's so genuine. The acting is so good that my dad, JDF, oh my gosh, his acting is so good. I cannot wait for you guys to see it. I wish I was there. I really do. I want to see all of y'all's pretty faces.
So one of the things that I tell people all the time, and I want to see if you can connect with me on this, is that the acting that he did on there is actually who he really was in real life. I said that. Yes.
Of course.
Don't say of course. Hey.
Hey, the real ones will know. But yes, dude, honestly, it was him, and it was me too. And you'll see a lot of mental health awareness being raised in this movie, and it'll help you not feel alone. You know, you're never alone, man. And I think that this movie is really gonna show people the real side of, especially my dad. You know, and just to show his pain and to relate. And it's bittersweet. But one thing is, we're gonna make this movie the most awesome movie ever, because you know what? My dad deserves that. Seriously.
All right.
I love y'all. I wish I was there.
I know.
All right, we love you, Jenna. Well, we appreciate you rapping on. Thank you so much.
I'm gonna see you next week. But if anything else you want to tell the fans?
Bro, search is terrible.
Oh. Well, thank you, Jenna. Much appreciated. Give it up for Jenna. All right. That was a nice.
She has her dad's energy.
She does. She's very much her dad. Well, that was a nice treat.
Yeah, it was.
Was that? Oh, that's good. All right, we'll hop on to the next question here. We got about 10 minutes here. We'll bust through these real quick here.
Thank you. So I'm super excited to see it in September. I'm glad that you guys picked that date. I'm wondering if, since the Kickstarter got over 5,000 people, do you have any future projects that possibly might include Jenna in a future project?
Possibly. We've talked with Jenna about the different possibilities of what we can do. She's really excited. The film was originally written to have multiple sequels. We're thinking about either pursuing those in comic form or maybe live action. We have to figure it out, but definitely we're very close with Jenna, and there's a lot of potential there. So we want to see how well this does, but we already have storylines in place that if it hopefully goes that way, we can make sure it happens.
Yeah. Yeah, Jenna's taking up the mantle. She's
been great.
She's forging a path for herself, and she has like I said, she's got her dad's energy, her dad's personality, and she's gonna just work as hard as he did.
Yeah. So thank you for that question.
I see a bright future for her.
Yeah. All right.
Hello.
Hello.
I watched the Power Rangers back when I was younger to feel closer to my brother when he was in the Navy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to see the movie get a theatrical release. My question is, though, what difficulties did you have when filming other than COVID?
Well, it was a big. The scale of the project is big, and when I say it was big, most films at this budget level, because we had, like I say, we had a Chris come on the private finance here, help with the budget and everything. But still, even at this level, we usually have around 50 to 70 effect shots. Our film has around 1,500 effect shots. So ever since we shot it, we've been in post-production. So doing that's been tough. It was a 42-day shoot, and when you shoot 42 days with only 1 day off a week, and they're like 16 to 18 hours a day,
It was hard.
It was tough. It was tough. But Jason was a great cheerleader for everyone, and we couldn't have done it without it. When you look to the leaders on set, I'm going, Jason's going. It just keeps everyone going. So I can't stress how much of Jason is baked into this movie. Every fiber and second and frame of this film has him in it. So, thank you. All right, next question.
Hi. So your body of work is very action-oriented. What is your favorite fight scene or stunt that you have shot?
In this film or just in general?
In general.
Ooh, in general. Oh man, we've done a lot of fighting. I can tell you my funniest one though. I know that one, the most embarrassing one, which is not what you asked, but I've never told the story. But Garrett knows the story though. Garrett's one of our grips. I was Nightwing and I had to leap over this post and I had to jump really far over this and do this V-twist flip over it. And the suit was really tight. And after shooting all day, it had started to rip. So I leaped over this railing, doing this big jump kick, legs open wide, and then I feel this draft. and I land, and I think it was Garrett who told me, he's like, that take looked good, but we can see everything in that shot. And I was like, what do you mean? Oh, and then I was actually getting a wardrobe. So that was the most I didn't know that happened. So that was the most embarrassing thing, Garrett knows. As far as the coolest, craziest thing we've done, what is the coolest, craziest stunt that we pulled off? That's a tough one. I mean, we did some crazy stuff in this. Chris, do you have a favorite fight or thing that we've done?
I absolutely loved the fight scene that Jason did with Mark, as you were talking earlier.
When we watched there, yeah.
Just the two different styles of fighting, they just blend together so well. I love the stunt that had you repeatedly having to fly over a table.
Oh yeah, that hurt.
Repeatedly and often. I enjoyed that very much.
So if you guys know who Mark is, I know you guys know probably John Wick, right? But at the same time, if the old school people, Double Dragon, all the old school Mark Dacascos type movies, and to see them both join together and to do a fight scene, to me, and not just to me, but just to him, and the reason why he wanted him in the movie was because he wanted to have a project with him.
Yeah.
So to have Mark Dacascos and Jason David Frank do a fight scene, I mean, you guys don't even know. You guys saw a clip of it, probably, maybe, but
yeah, they did. Yeah.
I'll answer her question. For me, it was when we did Wolverine and Predator in one of
I
our
looked at that,
beatdowns.
yeah.
We were actually in the swamp.
That was a real swamp.
Yeah, and everybody just was like just gung ho to get in the water and start filming. The cameraman, the grips, and everything, and it has a special memory. When I look back on all the action scenes that we've done, I'd put that right at the top.
Which, that was Jason's favorite, actually. That was his favorite beatdown, was Wolverine vs. Predator, so maybe that's a good way to end that question. But thank you, though. Thank you. Next question, then. We got like 3 minutes. And then we're going to get a big group photo of everyone. We'll turn the lights on and get a photo, but I'm going to go with the questions.
So how have you guys been since his death? Like, have you been processing your grief, or are you still processing it? And are you guys okay?
Okay, I'm going to put my sunglasses back on for this question.
Well, being here with all of you is kind of part of the process. You know, it's a shared community because we're all very connected to Jason, and it's a grieving process. You know, it's hard sometimes, but then it's very comforting in the editing room because we see him on the screen as we're deciding what shots to use and that. And so it's like he's with us, his voice is there, we see him, it brings back memories, but then it kind of hits you that, you know, he's passed. So it's kind of thing you take day to day, but you just have to lift your head up and just remember the positive things and what Jason would have wanted. He would have wanted us to not be down today. You know, we're here with your friends, you're at a convention with superheroes and sci-fi things, so let's just celebrate and be up. So I try to keep that every time I feel a little down. I try to turn it and spin it up.
For me, it kind of comes and goes. Sometimes I'm doing all right, and then, as Aaron said earlier, last night I got to watch a cut of the film as it exists right now, and there are some scenes in there that were all filmed before his passing. And now that he's gone, some of those scenes hit extra hard. And I started the viewing absolutely pumped, and by the end of it I was still pumped, but at the same time I was kind of devastated at the same time. So it comes and goes, but we push forward for him. A theatrical release for White Dragon was what he wanted, so that's what we're going to do our damnedest to achieve.
Yeah, one of the hardest things for me is because, like I said, I'd edit and I would always show him stuff. I text him stuff every day, like, look at this new clip, got this new special effects thing, because he gets so excited. And I have so many clips of him being like, oh, this is freaking awesome, love this stuff. And the thing that hits the hardest is a lot of times I'll get a clip and I'll just, because you're involved, you're deep in the editing, and I'll think, oh man, he's gonna love this. And then I'll be like, you know.
And that's the same for me. Like, as I can speak for his family to say that it's been a hard time for everyone, obviously. But for us, we can kind of, you know, hide things out, and at the same time, we can always come back and laugh about certain moments. To give an example, his wife recently got all of his, because he saved everything, CDs, DVDs, and back in the day, if you guys remember what VHS was, you know. So we got that all down into a drive, and to watch. If you ever watch his wife's stories, you see a bunch of like old movies of him and Janelle, or even like when he was young, you know. So it's been hard. So for me, it's hard to see that. So it's been a hard time, but I can say for Aaron and his dad, for me, I don't know how they do it, but for them to go through hours of film and editing, you know, if anything, I want to give them a big praise, and if anything, let's give them a big hand, because
well, we do it with all of you in mind because we know that you're going to be viewing it, so, you know.
We want to honor him. Like, that's like, it's this double-edged sword, but we're just going to power him as what he would have wanted. So, but thank you for that question. It's very sweet. Thank you. Thank you. All right, we got 2 more, and then we'll probably. All right, what next question?
Hi.
Hello.
What was your guys' favorite scene in the film?
Mine was Jason with Michael Madsen, just because Jason got to really live his dream, and because there's that scene, and then there's a scene where I do a lot of sword work as the villain, and Jason was teaching me sword cut. I have experience with swords, but working with Jason was, he's the utmost knowledgeable in fighting. So that was him behind the scenes, that scene, and then watching him perform with Michael Madsen. Those 2 scenes were just great.
I think the scene that had the most impact on the crew was the first day that Jason put on the White Dragon suit.
That was a big one too.
Oh my God, the atmosphere was electric. Everybody was 8 years old again. You go around and say, oh my God, Jason's putting on the suit.
Yeah, we did about 20 days of shooting before we ever got into the White Dragon suit.
yeah.
So when that day finally came where he got to get in the suit, it was like, oh my God. It was a big moment, yeah.
Yeah.
I think maybe the action scene at the end is probably
It's a good. I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. I just can't wait for you guys to see it. So, but thank you for that question. I will get one more here, and then we'll probably take a group photo here. So, unless there are yes or no questions, I hate turning people away. All right.
Okay, this is sort of a two-part question. One, how would I get a hold of that White Dragon poster that you guys advertised?
That'll be available on our merch store when we open that up.
Okay, then the second part, it might be a question towards Tony. So back in the 90s, this is something that I know personally because he was signing a contract with a person that's a good friend of mine named Mark Camacho for a speed racer. And then all of a sudden, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks later, he turned it down because the contract that allowed him to get out of the contract. So why did you turn that movie down?
This is about not Mark Camacho. You're talking about.
I'm talking about Jason Frankie because he signed for a movie called Speed Racer. This was back in the 90s.
Okay, so as far as like anything pre-98, I wouldn't know, to be honest with you, because I knew him in 99, so I wouldn't be able to tell you. The only thing that I can tell you is from 99 on, he used to kick my ass all the time. That's the only thing I can tell you. But at the end of the day, the only thing that I can tell you after that is that he was not only the best instructor, the best motivational speaker, and he is a big part of who I am today. And not only me, but a bunch of people that have ever like trained under him. I can tell you that he put all these positive messages into them. You know, contracts I have no idea about. The only contract that I know is when, if you guys remember, Power Rangers used to be filmed in Valencia, California. But then Power Rangers got moved to New Zealand. So when Power Rangers got moved to New Zealand, I was 16 and I had to take over the schools. So that's when I took over the schools, and that's when I took over the managing partner aspect of martial arts. But as far as that, I'm telling you, he was nothing but an amazing instructor, amazing speaker, and.
Okay, we got to.
I think we're.
Yeah, they're doing us to stop here. Like,
we're giving too much to the fans, like Jason.
Yeah,
we're gonna take a group photo with you, and we'll be out there if you guys have any questions. I'd love to answer everyone in line. I want to talk to you guys.
Yeah, so we'll be out there if you want to come up and.
But I just want to say thank you all, and let's get a group photo here. I wrote down those parts you don't like, Alex. Wrote those. That's not true. That's not true. Alex, the other way around. Yeah, the other way around. So, did you guys enjoy the panel?
Yeah.
Awesome. Excited for the film.
Heck yeah.
Can't wait for you guys to see it. I've seen it 1,000 times. We're still working on it. We have to do a few little minor tweaks and stuff like that, but I don't sleep. So if you notice, like, Aaron's posting online at 6 a.m. It's not because I'm up early, it's because I'm up late. Working with the different effects studios and sound people all around. So, but very, very exciting. Jason Ford is Hartnett. You guys are going to love it. And he wanted you all to know him through his art. And when you watch it, you're going to really get to know him. So I'm really excited that you guys are excited for it. It's been a labor of love for a long time. So people that ask questions, I have signed things for you.
Just got done with the Legend of the White Dragon panel and just celebration of life for Jason David Frank. That was so emotional. And they're showing the behind the scenes, and when his daughter got on the stage as well through the FaceTime, I cried. Just emotional tears, and as devastated as everything has gone down, it was really cool to just celebrate Jason in such a positive and beautiful way. And thank you to all the speakers that were here, Bat in the Sun, and just the whole panel itself. It made me feel so much closer to this project, this movie, and the fact that we're gonna get a theatrical release. I will be there day one, without a doubt. Just thank you, everybody that made that come to life. That really hit home. And obviously, I'm a big Green Ranger fan, have been for many years since I was a child. What do you got to say, Billy?
Dude, it's amazing. Honestly, like I told them, because we got to meet some
Yeah,
of
we
the
gotta
people that
talk
made
to
the movie.
them.
Yeah, we got to talk to
We
them.
gotta talk to them.
Which is really cool. It's like my childhood coming to life. And then just seeing, they showed us a clip of a movie, you know, and just seeing like him wearing like the type of suit is just very emotional.
Yeah.
So it's very crazy. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it.
Heck yeah. And then they showed the behind the scenes. It's just all hit home, man. But thank you everybody for watching Five Fires YouTube. I can't wait. September. Firing it down, everyone. Love y'all.